It's the NFL guy.
What's up, everybody? It's the NFL guy. And I said in the last few videos before the season, I said there's going to be some NFL videos I'm going to post. So Monday is the start of free agency, but teams are already starting to sign players. Jonnu Smith, the tight end from Atlanta, got released, and he signed with the Miami Dolphins, which I feel like that is a great fit for him. He goes from a mid Falcons team to a really good Miami team. Mitch Trubisky, my former Bear, signed back with the Buffalo Bills, so I think that's a great fit. Justin Simmons, a safety from the Denver Broncos, got released, and I was listening to ESPN today, and they were saying the safety uh, pool is there's so many safeties available, but Justin Simmons is like one of those players that should get signed right away. So whoever picked him up is going to get a really good player. Russell Wilson, I know I really didn't get to. I don't think I really talked about it. Russell Wilson release, and it's just Russell Wilson news left and right. Besides the Dallas Cowboy news on Get Up and First Take, it just seems like there's always Cowboy stuff on both of those shows. But they were talking of possibilities where Russell Wilson might go. You know, it seems like a really good destination that he might be heading to Pittsburgh. I was listening to sports talk radio on the way home from work and from WSBT, and they were talking about like, is it even a possibility Kirk Cousins leaving Minnesota and going to Atlanta, which I think that is the perfect fit for him because his wife's from Atlanta. But you know, Justin Fields has been rumored to go to Atlanta. So where does Russell Wilson go? They were talking about, does Russell Wilson go to Minnesota? Wow, that would, like, nobody ever talked about Russell Wilson going to Minnesota. You know, a lot of the buzz is about him maybe going to Atlanta or maybe going to Pittsburgh. But I think Kirk Cousins is going to Atlanta. Um, and then I think Justin Fields, I don't know what's going to happen, but you know, with the whole thing with like the Russell Wilson talk and the Kirk Cousins, is Baker going to resign with Tampa? It's just like, what is the Bears going to do? I think the smart thing to do is just to resign Justin Fields, and like he showed, he's getting better. Like I've said before, I know I've said, I think I said in a couple of videos that Caleb Williams, there's so many red flags. I really hope Ryan Poles is just listening to the news, maybe just taking some of it in. I, I I don't know. I think it's a big mistake. I think if I'm not going to really to dive into this until like whatever happens to Justin Fields, but I think they're making a big mistake if they get Caleb Williams. I think my prediction is, and I will put $100 down on Vegas betting that in 3 years Caleb Williams will not be there with the Bears. I think it's a bust. I mean, look at everything. Like everybody's talking about him at the combine. I almost said Columbine. Not That's not what I'm meant to say. The combine. So I mean, there's been rumors, talks of like Justin Jefferson getting traded. I mean, there was some news like I reported from NBC, and the one story that we're talking about on the sports talk today was that they were like, well, the Bears are going to make a trade, but not the trade that you expect. They were like, I think the Bears are going to trade the number one pick. They're going to keep Fields, and they're just going to trade that number one pick. Whatever they get for it, I think they should do it. That would be the best bet. They can get so many draft picks. I think Jaden Daniels would be the best pick if they do trade Fields. I think he's this year's CJ Stroud. I think it would be a mistake. The Bears are going to screw it up again like they did with in the draft that they got Trubisky. They traded up to get Trubisky, but I think Trubisky would have been a really good quarterback if he had the right coaches to teach him. But they dropped the ball, didn't get Patrick Mahomes, and I think they're going to drop a ball again on a quarterback if they get Caleb Williams. But hey, they should call Minnesota and be like, hey, we will trade you the number one pick for Justin Jefferson. Could you imagine Justin Jefferson and DJ Moore with the Bears and Justin Fields throwing to both of them. Oh my God, that would be amazing. But then like Caleb Williams would be in Minnesota. Oh my gosh, because obviously he's going to go number one. So you would think, and like I also heard too, like I think it was on Dan Patrick's show. I was listening to him on the way to work, and they were just saying that, like, I don't think the market is really all that hot for Justin Fields. You would think that a lot of teams would be calling and be like, hey, right away, you would think that Justin Fields would already be gone if he was was a spectacular quarterback. And obviously, if it was a spectacular quarterback, Bears wouldn't be trading him. But I mean, if he was, like that quarterback that teams were calling about, he would already be on a new team right now. But there's nobody calling. There might be teams, but maybe the Bears just don't like what they're getting. But I think that's a safe bet. Ryan Poles keeps saying, "Oh yeah, Justin's a really good guy and all this and good quarterback." If he trades him, and I'm like, "You're so full of shit, Ryan Poles." They draft Caleb Williams. Oh my God, there's gonna be so many videos on TikTok, like just like other fans from other teams just talking about the whole Justin Fields trade and getting Caleb Williams. And I guarantee you, I know I'm going to repeat myself once the news drops with Justin Fields and during the draft. Like I will be saying, I'm sure a lot of people on TikTok on live they're going to be saying, what was the Bears by week 9, 10? I would think people are going to be talking like, what were the Bears thinking at one? Why didn't they just draft Jaden Daniels or May? I think May's another one. I think JJ McCarthy is going to be a sleeper. I think he's this year's Brock Purdy, but I think the best quarterback coming out of this draft. I think 3 years down the road is going to be Jaden Daniels. So I think that's where the Bears should draft. But I honestly think they should keep Justin Fields, trade the number one, get a bunch of draft picks, or draft Marvin Harrison Jr., which I think that's a safe bet. Get an offensive tackle at number 9, or if they trade the number one and they get a bunch of draft picks, depending how many they're going to get a couple offensive linemen, get a receiver. So I don't know. I'm just waiting every day for my ESPN alert to go off and be like, Justin Fields got traded, and stuff like that, and see what they get for him and stuff, and then talking about like, okay, here we go, the dominoes are falling. But until then, we'll see what happens. So anyway, have a great night, everybody.